I called the captain's circle because, good morning by the way, passenger services said that my invitation for this top 40 event would be sent out last night with my room steward, and I didn't get it, so I just called the captain's circle and she told me the invitations went out the night that she called, so it just must have not been delivered. I think that's the night where they delivered me that credit card notice twice. Anyway, so it's tonight at 6:45 in the card room. I wish I had an invitation to show you, but she said I definitely am invited and it wasn't a mistake. So yay. My excursion is like whale watching and going by the Ketchikan totem pole part. Chris and I went to and walked around last time we were here, and oh my goodness, we were miserable because we didn't come prepared for the rain. Even though I'm not walking around that park today, I went and got one of these rain poncho. I was looking for one before leaving on the cruise because that was the one thing I knew I could not do without, especially at this port. But they were like $8 at Target, and I'm not gonna pay that for a plastic bag to hang over myself. Shockingly, on board it was only $3.95 for the princess one. But now that I'm looking at it, that's just a piece of paper in there. It's not actually a logo, which is good. I wouldn't want a princess logo. I'm going to use that so that I don't get my hair wet, because I did a keratin treatment yesterday and it's supposed to be kept down and dry until tomorrow morning. Today is going to be pretty busy with my excursion starting at 2:30 and ending at 5:30. Then I'll be running back here to get ready for the captain's thing. My excursion on my ticket says 2:30 to 5:30, but when you look at the pattern today, 5:15 is all aboard. So I called the front desk. I'm like, I'm on a princess tour. Why is all aboard before my tour is scheduled to end? And he's like, oh, don't worry, we won't leave without you, which is a guarantee when you're doing a princess excursion. But I've also read some people say that actually, if you read the fine print, they will leave without you and they'll just guarantee to help you meet up with a ship or something. But in any case, I do not like to be coming back to the ship in the last hour of boarding, let alone 15 minutes after all aboard. Like, you guys made the schedule, so why make an excursion end after we should all be back on the boat? We're gonna set the clocks forward tonight, thank God, because I have been having the most difficult time keeping up and understanding what time it is, because my phone, while I was doing my hike yesterday, it would go from 1 hour to the next and then back repeatedly, just based on every few steps I was taking. So, and it's been doing that on the ship too, even though I put it in airplane mode. So I have been unable to know the time without asking someone for almost 2 days now. Tonight they have an illusionist. My dinner time is not conducive to seeing shows. I haven't been to a single show because you have to leave dinner around 9:15, 9:30, and that's when the shows start, and I've just never made it. But they do have the Yes No game show at 10 tonight. I know I'll definitely be out of the dining room by then. And at 8:45 they also have a Dancing with the Princess Stars event, which looks cool. I've never seen that before. 6 crew dance with 6 guests to random genres of music, and the audience vote and crown a dance champion. That sounds fun. The traditional dining has been infiltrated by anytime dining. We've had some strangers come to our table last night. They had no idea that anytime dining didn't include both upstairs and downstairs dining rooms, because they'd so frequently been sent up to the traditional dining room during this trip. And my table was like, well, actually you're sitting here because the people who normally are here didn't show up. So we've all been eating together all this time and you're just implants. Like, they were kind of forward about it, but it's true. And I'm not a big fan of having people just put at our table, because I chose traditional dining specifically to be with the same group all the time. And yeah, I just don't like that. I want my table mates, and if someone doesn't show up, fine, but don't be plugging random people into those spots. I don't like on the 6th day of a cruise to have to introduce myself and learn new names at dinner, you know? That's the whole point that I chose traditional. Let me show you what the pattern has today. The Alaska routes are very port intensive, so there is a lot less happening on the ship in the evenings than like a Caribbean cruise or something where partying is the general idea. Tomorrow is the last sea day, and today is the last port, so I'm going to enjoy Ketchikan. They're doing a man overboard drill right now, so I can hear their announcements that they're starboard side. I just got my invitation to the cocktail party tonight. I'm gonna go grab a salad at the buffet before my excursion, and then we're gonna go find some whales. The hot tub looks pretty inviting. Back to my room after grabbing some steamed vegetables up at the buffet. And while I was in line, a guy that I was sitting with last night with his wife and another couple came up and invited me to sit with them. So I had lunch with them. The women are getting off the boat to go shopping, and the men are gonna go to the bar. Okay, it is 2 o'clock. It's time to go for my excursion. I have my poncho, my North Face, this sweater, and a tank top underneath. So I shouldn't be cold. But my hair is not supposed to get wet, and it looks so greasy. I do not recommend getting a keratin treatment on a boat because you look nasty.
Not slippery, I said.
It used to be at low tide, Thomas Basin was the only level spot in town, so they'd play baseball there. As the tide came in, they had a dog that would go out in the water to retrieve the balls for them, and when the water got to be knee-deep on the outfielders, they'd call the game, and whoever had the most runs at that time would win. From now until the end of September, Ketchikan will have anywhere from 1 to 6 cruise ships in port almost every day. So there's only about 2 to 3 foot of dirt on top of the rock, so that's what everything grows in. And we do have high winds that come through. About a month ago, they clocked winds during one of the storms coming through Ketchikan at 112 miles per hour. The boat is still, I saw it as we were coming around, it's not in yet. They should be up here just shortly though.
Harbor seals. These are common harbor seals, the same guys you'd see all up and down the Pacific coast. Yeah, plump guys, aren't they? Oh, well, I'll tell you, the wind is kind of setting us toward the rocks here, so we do have to continue forthward.
As we view this first totem pole, can you pick out the many animal features? The raven and the eagle are there, the halibut and the salmon, the killer whale and the bear and the wolf. As the clan house comes into view, you can see another huge totem pole attached to the front of it. And at the base of that totem pole, a doorway carved. Traditionally, the only entrance and exit to and from the clan house. The clan house typically would be 30 or 40 feet wide and up to 55 or 60 feet in length. It would be home to as many as 50 or more natives at one time. Clan houses could be disassembled with the removal of a few key pegs. You see, no screws, bolts, or nails were used in its construction. And after disassembling the clan house, the young men could carry the pieces down to the waterfront where they could be bundled together and, much like a raft, floated to a new location. One of the world's first mobile homes.
Fishes. Of course, if water rat seaweed doesn't exactly strike your appetite, we also have clams, mussels, limpets, oysters, sea cucumbers, crab. Whatever you could want from a seafood buffet is available to you here. And that house beneath that eagle, that's Brian's parents' house. Yeah, hi Brian's parents' house. Rocks there. Oh, look at how well we blend in. You can't even see it down the rock. Isn't that amazing? If you, let's see, if you lost him in the rocks, I'll tell you what, I'll pull forward a little bit. I'll line him up with the flagpole. There it is. There she blows. To our right, a whale.
Yes. Okay, keep watching. Don't come back down. Yes.
Humpback whale, right hand side of the boat. There she blows.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. What are we looking at? The whale.
Oh, folks, it's not often we're this close to a humpback.
Oh, there it is. Hey.
Watch it. If it takes a dive, it might show us its tail. There it goes. Whoa. Parallel between us and shore. There she blows.
Ooh.
Hey, I thought this didn't know this was a whale watching tour.
Ooh, there's a hump. Is it going to show its tail? There it is. Oh, wow. How spectacular. That was just beautiful. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that indicates that that whale is about to take a dive. It'll hold its breath now for about a half an hour. So we consider that tail its wave goodbye. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at Guard Island. This historic site is the first light to have been built in Alaska, completed in 1904 when it was first lit.
Yeah. I can take cameras. Just let me know. Okay.
Lighthouse and Eagle's Excursion spots humpback whales about 25% of our day. The weight of a full-grown adult humpback whale can reach 45 tons. The humpback is best known for its complicated mating songs.
And they laid the keel for that boat in May of 2017. And today it sails through Alaska, June of 2018.
Isn't the, doesn't Disney have one that's got like 4,000
Yes,
people on it?
yes they do. But this is the biggest one that's come to Alaska.
No, I wonder.
Seems to be here getting to take a dive.
his left word again. Two of them.
There he is.
Whoa. Look at that.
Oh, man.
That's the bull, man. Look at that fin. Whoa. Amazing.
Man. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Alaska. How cool is this?
Amazing.
Keep your eyes peeled. They are beautiful. Orcas. You got the whole thing. Snap a shot of that.
Oh, yeah. Here, give me. Open the door.
Well, just be
Folks, we got humpback whales, orca whales, eagles, seals, rainbows. We've seen it all.
That one's pretty spectacular. Yeah, that's pretty spectacular.
That's pretty bright.
Yes.
Oh, I wish I had my camera.
Look,
You know? It's just crazy.
That is beautiful.
look at the
IMS light at
Purple. I've never seen one with so much purple in it.
All aboard was 17 minutes ago. That was absolutely amazing. We saw orcas, humpback whales, eagles. Did one of you have a sweater on the bus?
Oh, it's mine. Yeah, I dropped it.
I've never been one of the pier runners after.
No. They said they'd wait for us when we come up the thing.
And the final preparation for our departure. Down the gangway and close the shelters. Once we are ready, we'll let go our lines, thrusting off. And once the clear will follow suddenly.
There was someone in the window counting us as we came on so the captain could give us out. The captain was on the intercom as I walked back, talking about how we may hit 3-meter swells tonight and possibly have a lot rougher weather than it has been so far. I haven't needed Dramamine at all on this cruise, but just given that warning that I just heard, I'm going to take some as a precautionary measure. Tonight, in an hour, I have the captain's party for the most traveled cruisers, so I need to get dressed for that. It is time to go to the captain's most traveled passengers party. I got my casually elegant outfit on, whatever that means. But I was reading on Cruise Critic, a board from like 2009, about how people that cruise to Alaska tend to be first-time cruisers, and so it's normal for people with a low amount of days at sea to make the top 40. I'm like at 100 days right now, I think. Here we go. I'm gonna film as I walk up because I don't know if I'll be able to film once I get in there. So at least I can show you what it looks like walking in. I think it's right here.
call it? Didn't they call it Heavenly Delight? Oh, fishy, fishy, fishy! Another one. That should hit, yes, shoot the
Yay!
Oh, you, oh my God! Oh,
Not bad! Woohoo! It is about 10:15. After eating, I went with one of my table mates to play slots for a little bit. I won a bonus for 170 or so. Anyway, the captain's party was so fun. I sat with a lady who was also cruising on her own. She does that frequently after retiring recently. When you walk in, you get a picture with the captain, and the captain was like, "Are you by yourself?" And I said yes, and so he put his arm out like this for me to link up with him in the picture. They came and gave us our little souvenir picture before we left for dinner, which was really cool. That event was so fancy. I took a little video of the buffet that they laid out. It was actually very special, and I spoke with the Captain's Circle hostess, Michelle, who I said I wouldn't have been surprised if it was a mistake and I didn't actually qualify for this. And she said, no, it's our top 40 most cruise passengers and you are one of them, so don't diminish that. Enjoy your party. They really show an appreciation for the customer, which was nice. They are playing a Star Wars movie that a couple of my table mates were going to watch, Movies Under the Stars. So I'm gonna go up there and see if I can find them. It's like 11:30, but we lose an hour tonight as we get back into like Washington, Vancouver time. So I can't wait to wash my hair in the morning. It is so greasy and disgusting, but it's not really grease. It's just keratin, but it's still not pretty. Anyway, see you in the morning. Like, comment, and subscribe. Tomorrow's my last day and your last chance of this cruise to subscribe.